The latest business conglomerate to enter the financial services segment is Godrej Industries. Godrej Capital was launched in April last year, which is the holding company for the home loan business and the MSME lending. Manish Shah, MD and CEO of Godrej Capital, is here with us today to talk about the company's growth plans. Mr. Shah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Godrej Capital has two lines of businesses. One is the housing finance and one is the MSME lending. So let's start with housing finance. What is the size of the loan book of the housing finance arm, which is called the Godrej Housing Finance?
So I'm just going to give you a bit of an overall picture and then jump into the two different companies.
Right.
We recently crossed our an important milestone, which is to cross our 5,000 crore AUM across both of our companies. Just a small, while Godrej Capital came into being last year in April, we commenced our lending business in the housing finance company in November 20. We expect to close this year across both Godrej Capital entities at 5,500 crores. And if you remember our first conversation when we had launched, our lending businesses in the end of 2020, we had said that an important milestone would be 10,000 crores, of AUM at the end of our third full year of operations. And to that end, our pitch stop was to be in excess of 5,000 crores this year. So thankfully, we will be there, and we look forward to crossing the 10,000 crore mark comfortably by March 24. The HFC currently has about, by the end of March, we'll have a 4,000 crore AUM, and about 1,500 crores will be in the NBFC.
For the housing finance business, which are the segments that you are targeting?
So most of our focus, Manojit, is in the, where the home buyers are. So we work with about 200 projects in the country across, all of the reputed developers, that you would be familiar with. So on an average, our loans are at about 50 to 60 lakhs is our average ticket size is between 50 and 55 lakhs. Segment when looked at from a home price, we've seen that our sweet spot and where buyers see most value, in our products has been in the 50 lakhs to 1 crore range. And, we've seen over the last now a little over 2 years, we've seen quite strong demand there despite us being new entrants.
Is there any plan to do the affordable housing? Is that a focus area for you? Or going ahead, will it be a focus area?
It's something that we're looking at, Manojit. I think we've looked at a few pilots, and currently we operate in this space via co-lending.
Mm-hmm.
We've, through the pilots, we have felt that there is, because both the customer targeting acquisition and how you underwrite, it is a very different business. It's something we're looking to learn. It's something we're looking to partnerships to learn. And down the line, it's a decision for later on whether it is something that we do ourselves or continue the partnerships via co-lending.
Now that you have said the loan ticket size, average ticket size is 55 lakh to 60 lakh rupees, which means you are mostly concentrated in the metro regions. So I wanted to understand which are the cities or geographies you are concentrating now, and what is the plan for expand to other areas?
Manojit, are you still talking only for the HFC?
Home loan, yes. We are talking about the home loan now.
Right. So, Manojit, we started in 5 cities, right, and we continue to be focused on those 5 cities as far as pure housing loans are concerned. On the NBFC side, it's a different story, where we are currently in 11, looking to go to 30. On the housing side, it's Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Bangalore, and Ahmedabad. We followed this footprint largely because our starting point was where the group company Godrej Properties, had its projects, and then we built around that. We started with only buyers of Godrej Properties projects. We moved to other projects. So in the housing business, until we go deeper into the affordable side, for the foreseeable future, we see ourselves focused on these 5 cities. Even today, in these 5 cities alone, we range between 1 and 5% market share.
Okay.
So if you think about it, there's a lot of headroom for growth even in these cities.
And what is the medium-term growth roadmap for the housing finance business?
Manojit, we actually, while I know that your sort of mode of distinction is to look at company and company B, we look at it much more from a Godrej Capital perspective.
Correct.
And there are 2 operating entities.
Correct.
But we really look at it as saying, when we look at customer ecosystems, how do we serve these ecosystems? So our focus is that of the 30,000 crore balance sheet that we aspire to get to 3 years from today,
Right.
We believe 10 to 12,000 of that will be housing finance.
Okay. Okay.
About 30%. I'm sorry, I misstated that. Between 35 to 40% will be on the housing finance side. So my mistake, please pardon me. 15 to 16,000.
Right.
Of the 35,000 or 12,000 of 30,000 will be in pure housing, which will be in the HFC.
HFC.
The other 18 out of 30, and pardon me, because we're still, our aspiration is to cross the 30 and get to 35.
Correct. I understand.
And therefore, we look at the rest in the NBFC.
Now coming to the MSME lending business, which is done through Godrej Finance. Again, what is the loan book now and what kind of growth you see over the medium term?
Right. So this is going to be, Manojit, a very important focus area for us, whether it's SME or MSME, but essentially looking at enterprise. Our first year, this is a business we mostly started in 22. We did a little bit in 21, 22, but it basically we started in a small way in 22, 23. This year, we have in every business, our first goal is to look at starting small, demonstrating, because seeing what is the value we can add to customers. We got our first 1,000 customers this year in the small business SME side. This is all secured. We have 1,000 customers, about 1,500 crores this year will be our book. Going forward in Godrej Finance, and specifically looking at SME, MSME, where this year is going to be a very big area of focus for us, where we are going from 1,000 customers to 10,000 customers this year.
Right.
And from 1,500 crores AUM to over 5,000 crore AUM in just MSME, SME alone.
In FY24.
Yes, 23-24, absolutely. A very large part of our focus is going to be product portfolio expansion so that you can service the need of the customer. So we started off only with secured loans against property.
Right.
We've just launched earlier this month, we've launched our unsecured working capital loans, our business loan business. And later this year, we'll look at supply chain. So in growing our customer, first, we want to look at growing our customer offering. Today, on an average, our loan against property is at 1.5 crores. But there is a very large customer segment that would look at business expansion, capital expenditures, but have smaller properties against which they'd like to borrow, at 50 lakhs, for example. On the other hand, not for every business use, you do not want a secured loan. There is not a property each time you want 10, 15 or 25 lakhs. You can't be mortgaging a property. Hence the working capital business loan, which is for shorter tenure, more for working capital. Later in the year, we'd also like to launch the much more shorter term supply chain finance, which is your invoice discounting, etc. So one is the product basket. Second is for us to grow, our geographical presence.
Correct.
We started with 5 cities. Last year, we took it to 11. This year, we will add another 19 locations. So we'll be in 30 locations with multiple products.
Now, is there any fundraising plans for these businesses, housing finance and the lending businesses?
And, in our business, it's an ongoing reality. So there's always a fundraising plan. As you may have seen a quarter ago, the board of Godrej Industries approved another 1,200 crore infusion. So on the equity side, our existing 1,100 crore equity book will double. Another 12 crores will be infused. The rest, which is debt, is the raw material of our business.
Right.
By the end of next year, if we are going to add another 6,000 crores to our book, 1,200 of that will come from equity. The rest, roughly about 5,000 crores, will be a mix of bank borrowings, NCDs, commercial paper. At some point, so far it has not been very attractive as we've looked at it, but at some point we'd also like to look at external borrowing.
ECB.
And yes, so far the costs have not worked to our advantage.
Correct.
Especially because of the hedging costs, the landed costs were not working out. We are quite fortunate, because of the group's brand, relationships, and strengths of the balance sheet, that availability and the cost of liabilities have been quite, adequate and have been quite well priced. Right. As we grow, just important for us to diversify, just like it is on the loan side, also on the liability side.
Right.
A good mix.
On that note, it was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Shah. Thank you for speaking to Business Standard.
A pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.